Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Magic Arena Run. Today we're going to be taking a look at Historic Brawl Fest. So this is pretty much their experiment to see if there is plenty of demand for Historic Brawl. I really want to see this succeed. And I want to check out some of the cards from Kaladesh Remastered. And somehow I did mention in one video that there seems to be one card that I don't know if they should really allow in Brawl, because in the first place, Brawl was released about just a few years ago, around the same time as Kaladesh, and because they were very slow to ban this card for that standard Brawl at the time, it kind of wrecked the Brawl format. It took a long time just to get it restarted, so we'll see if it still has legs. If you know your history, you know what I'm talking about. And for those who don't know their history, let's introduce everyone to Baral. So do a quick check on what's in the Baral deck. So Baral, Chief of Compliance, it's 2 mana for a 1/3. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, so this flat discount all around. And whenever a spell or ability you control counters a spell, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. So one Baral's very cheap to cast, so very easy to get stuff down, and also relatively easy to protect. And when you start casting counters, it churns through your deck. It's a good way to get through cards. So I'm running this on basic. I'm still missing a few cards. I just opted not to put them quite yet, so there's no commit to memory to refresh our deck. But otherwise, you'll notice it's a lot of counters, a few ways to draw extra cards, Maze Mine Tome, Treasure Maps, a free way to scry. So if aside from all those counters, how do we win? Well, we have the simple creatures: Brineborn Cutthroat, Nadir Kraken. Those are the basic ones. We have a God Eternal Kefnet. Wait, doesn't really work well with our counters, but it does work well with some of our other spells. Hopefully we can get to that. Otherwise, it's just a 4/5 that keeps coming back, so that's fine. We have a few larger creatures in the top, and we have a Shark Typhoon. We have a Torrential Gearhulk to buy some of our counters back. Agent of Treachery. We have an Agent of Treachery and a Mass Manipulation, because we don't have that many threats of our own, so we're probably going to just borrow most of our opponent's threats. Otherwise, the key plan is to basically make all our counters cheaper. Like, imagine casting Revolutionary Rebuff for 1, Disdainful Stroke for 1, Anti-Cognition for 1. Sensor maybe not so effective, but it has cycling, so that's an option. Then our other spells: Sinister Sabotage, Wizard's Retort. I don't have a disallow yet, so that's why I didn't put it in. And we have a little extra backup: Jawari Disruption, access a land. Salinity Vision gets us a way to dig into stuff, access a land. Glass Pool Mimit, most likely gonna act as a land, but on the rare case we get control of something and we can double it, sure, that's fine. And Imara Wizard, extra win con. So not that much in the way of win cons. We also have extra lands like Crawling Barrens, Mobilized District, Field of the Dead. We're not relying too much on Field of the Dead, but relying a bit on the others. Let's hope the mana base doesn't wreck us too much. We really need a lot of early blue. But we're gonna see how well this goes. So cards I'm thinking of looking for: one, the Commit to Memory from Amonkhet. I'm considering putting that in. More ways to bounce, because right now our only bounce is literally Brazen Borrower. We probably want more cards that bounce. Aether Gust is a probably good option, because there are a bunch of mono green cards that can't be countered. So we're going to probably lead off on Jawari Disruption. Actually, no. Yeah, we're actually... Okay, our opponent mulliganed, but that's fine. Yeah, we're gonna lead off on Jawari Disruption. Let's see if our opponent might be inclined for removal, but this kind of deck generally does not run removal that reliably, so I'm going to actually just go for it. I'm going to go for the early Baral, because why not? If our opponent has to remove... no, opponent concedes. Okay, I know it's broken, but that's a bit too fast. Okay, or... Well, our opponent mulliganed once. They probably assumed that we have a bunch of counters. Well, we only had like 2, I guess. But that was a very fast... Okay, that was a very fast win. That's also... So we're going to keep running this through, but I honestly think that Historic is a little bit more volatile than the standard of that time. It shouldn't... We shouldn't be able to roll over our opponent quickly, but otherwise this probably just becomes proof that... Okay, because we have decks like the colorless deck. Opponent? Okay, that's fast. Our opponent just auto-conceded. Okay. So this might be a very short video. Well... Or are people just refusing to play against Baral? If that's the case, guys, you have to let the deck win so that Wizards gets the data. So if they see it's overwhelming, then they can get the ban properly in. Now, decks that have early removal should be able to deal with this. Like right now, this is not a great hand. We do have some counters, but this is... I really actually want to mulligan this. Okay, this is better. We got cheap revolutionary buff. We got Tail's End. So we have a bunch of counters to start. I'll actually just lead off with Field of the Dead since we don't have a... Having some of these early tap lands not so bad because we don't have anything to one. So opponent probably has early removal. So I actually want to... Yeah, I actually want to wait. Opponent takes 2. For Branch Walker, I kind of have to... Yeah, I'm gonna revolutionary buff that. And opponent concedes. Oh, okay, that was... Okay, looks like nobody wants to play against a Baral deck. Oh, this is a very fast video. I guess I can call it a day. You know what? We're gonna keep trying to get a few extra games, but it looks like it's only been a few hours since so I think what happened is there's already playing... Like, take a look. I've only cast 2 blue spells altogether, and I've already won 3 games. So... Yeah, it looks like nobody wants to play against this deck. And I'm basically happy that I'm playing with it now because it's probably gonna get banned. Okay, Ashiok, this one is one of the boogeymen, especially for standard Brawl. This probably has a better shot. I don't like the 2 mana. We do have quite a few counters. I'm gonna take a risk. You know what? I'll play this one just so that it... Opponent has the Duress. Probably takes... I take the rebuff because that counters any... Oh, it takes the neutralize. Okay. So I'm actually gonna just play Baral now. I'm assuming our opponent has lots of cheap removal. This deck has to... Oh, Maze Mine too. Okay, that's fine. So we missed out on the land. I'm actually gonna just hit our opponent and pass. I'm tempted to just cast the Search for Ascanta. Actually, you know what? Let's cast the Search for Ascanta now. Opponent can't counter it. It gives me a wait. I'm gonna let our opponent kill Baral. That's fine. Basically, I need to start filling up the graveyard a little bit. Opponent is Command Tower. There should be a kill spell right about now. Yeah, so 2 mana hands, very risky. The opponent's letting that through. Sublime Epiphany, graveyard. It is a Lundi Vision. We're gonna need that land though, so we can actually cast this for 1. Opponent has only 3 mana. We actually want to get close to here. Opponent's probably gonna be content to just draw. So that might buy me quite a bit of time just to build up again. Arcane Signet. We'll let that through. No, library. I need lands. Gonna be slightly awkward for our opponent. Opponent's very content to just draw cards, which is fine. Because we're the ones who are actually way behind right now. Opponent's thinking about going to a counter spell war. I have to also be aware that I only have 2 blue mana right now, so not so great. I really need more blue mana. Yeah, having cards like the Salundi Isle are fine. Library. So I have a sort of a backup win con. Opponent's thinking about just removing this, I guess. Opponent deliberates, scry 2, draw a card. Sure, we'll let. Because because counter spells are at a premium, we are going to have to. We're gonna have to be careful how we cast that. Yes, Key to Extinction. That's a 4 mana card. We'll just wait. No, opponent. Okay, we'll definitely Larry buff that. So I will draw a card. I will discard the Voracious Great Shark. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Extinction event. So I'm tempted to actually just discard the Shark Typhoon at this point. When it goes to the negate, which we have Hypnotic Strike. So we're actually gonna have to draw 2, discard 2. So yeah, draw. Discard. Well, this is actually a counter, so I'm gonna discard the Shark Typhoon. Draw. Pact of Negation. Okay, slightly awkward. I'll discard the Tail's End. Castle Vantress. View. We have 7 already, so I can just keep that library. Transform. So now have an extra creature. Well, we did give up a lot of our win cons. We gave up the Great Shark, we gave up the Shark Typhoon, we gave up Sublime Epiphany just to get to our land. So yeah, basically you have to be a control brawl deck to have a good shot. Opponent's not bothered to cast Ashiok. Opponent goes for the op, sure. So I'm basically aiming to use Ascanta's Sunken Ruin, and I have Pact of Negation as backup. Sure, we could resolve that. Opponent regains some life back. This probably might be one of the longest games. It's actually, well, it's definitely a lot longer than the first 3 brawl matches we ran up in. Blood Chief's Thirst. So one. Okay, pays twice. So 1, 2, 3. So I need to pay X equals 4. 1, 2. So I'm definitely gonna take action. Draw. Okay, I'm gonna discard this. I'm okay with losing Baral at this point now. Opponents spent so much effort just to get Baral out. Play the Blast Zone. And Field of the Dead is now live. And we got Torrential Gear Hulk to buy us another counter. Wow. This is... Anticipate, sure, that's fine. So we actually have choices here. In fact, I would like to get Sublime Epiphany now that's in the graveyard. Opponent probably has a counter for it too, so we should... Because one other trick we can do is we can just tap for the Sunken Ruin, get... try to dig for more counter spells, especially if our opponent doesn't do anything. Opponent goes for the attack. Oh, okay, that's fine. Let's see if our opponent has the counter. No, does not have the counter. So we're going for the Sublime Epiphany. Yes, we're gonna cast that. So counter, return, create a token, draw a card. Okay. So bounce this. Let's copy Torrential Gear Hulk. We draw a card. We get Jawari Disruption on the cheap. So intervention. Oh, actually we don't have any good choices. So let's just copy that. Decline. Yeah, we don't really have any good choices there. So draw a card. Yes, take action, draw a card. We will discard the Jawari Disruption. And we probably have control at this point. Yeah, I'll play Arch of Vraska. Another zombie token, so... So, yeah, we'll end the turn. Yeah, well, we countered an Extinction Event. We countered an... So, there is still Languish, but it won't take out the Gear Hulks. Erebos' Intervention. Okay, we're going to tap. Yeah, good. Oh, opponent concedes right there because well, we didn't have the counter spell yet, but we had one shot at least. Whew. So there you go. That's Baral in a nutshell. We happen to have control on that scenario. We literally ran with it. Our opponent did not have the early kill. So there we go. That's that. I'm gonna keep going at this one but I'm gonna keep going at this one because this might be the last time I get to play with Baral. I'll be really... That said, it's not insurmountable. I just so happen to have the right amount of counters, but it is a very frustrating gameplay loop. So okay, so yeah, I will keep this one. Spectral Sailor is really just a rando as card draw, but I do like being able to cast these on the cheap. So, and I can also cast this X1. Opponent sees the Baral, so I have to assume our opponent has some sort of removal. So, unfortunately, we did not draw this. You know what? I'm gonna Maze Mind Tome first. This is the one color that's very likely to have, this is the one color super likely to have removal. So I'm definitely gonna go for the Scry. Opponent's Mirror Shield. Okay, sure. That's Scry. So yes, we got the land. I kind of want to cast this, but I know I still won't be able to cast this off yet, so I'm gonna see what our opponent drops. I'm generally assuming they have a deck like this would have a big play. Okay, it's just equipment. Sure, that's fine. We'll let that resolve. No, this only gets me 1 card by itself. Yeah, you need 4 mana to just get a choice of 2 cards. So, draw a card. Torrential Gearhulk. Grindborn Cutthroat. Not what I wanted. I should have held down upkeep, actually. Forgot. So... opponent hits their 4th mana. They might drop Valduk, but they won't have mana to equip. Chandra Novice Pyromancer. Yeah, we're gonna Mystical Dispute that. So I'm gonna set a stop on my upkeep. Okay, I take it back. Let's draw the land. Let's play Baral now. And so we now have some sort of protection in the form of Sinister Sabotage. Wow. On one hand, I'm kind of excited, but on the other hand, I have to be kind of subdued too, so... Because our opponent's about to equip these. You know what? Let's just Sinister Sabotage now. I want to get... Yes, I want that on top because I need to have the assumption I'm going to cast Sublime Epiphany next turn. Okay, so we're going to discard the Grindborn Cutthroat because that's too soft. Opponent might still have removal for Baral, but I kind of want to just crack the Maze Mind Tome at this point. Yeah, let's crack it. Shark Typhoon... Yeah, we'll keep it on top. So we're on the lookout for... Now, there are some spells we can't counter, like Chandra Awaken Inferno, we can't counter that. Yeah, that's another spell we can't counter, so we have to keep that in mind. We do have an... Sublime Epiphany is still an out, though. Because this can counter activated abilities, so we get a one-shot out with that. And we will need to dig for mana for Torrential Gearhulk, so maybe this Shark Typhoon is a mistake. Iron Crag Feet, sure, we'll let that resolve. Let's see if our opponent goes for Valakut. So we're gonna bounce the Mirror Shield. We're gonna copy Spectral Sailor. We're gonna draw a card. And our opponent can't cast any more spells because that's already the 2nd spell of Iron Crag Feet. Yeah, that will definitely get a concession. We had the Umara Wizard. We won't get the Gearhulk cast quite yet, but that's fine. We still have a backup in Thassa's Intervention. Whew. Oh. I'm gonna do one more game. This is gonna be this is a very short episode. The first 3 wins really don't. I would highlight the 4th game. The first three not so. Okay, mono green. This one's gonna be the problem. We have Carnage Tyrant. We have a bunch of cards that so I can get 1 blue off the Glasspool Mimic, but this comes in play tapped. I'm gonna go for the free mulligan. Also, I don't have much in the way of counter spells, so this one's a really bad hand. Like, I get Celundi Vision, but no counters. I'm gonna mulligan again. This one is slightly better. So I kind of need the lands. We do have Hypnotic Sprite, so I'm going to actually... I could bin Tail's End. Yeah, I'm gonna bin the treasure map. Okay, there's a Wizard's Retort we're not gonna be able to cast. At least Mesmeric Glare we can cast, sort of. So Well, Serpent X equals 2. That's kind of fine. Am I likely to count? Well, I can't counter with this anyway. I'm gonna go for Ominous Seas. This was my backup plan. Sure, I could have played Baral, but I would expect something like a Ramtru at this point. Gem Razor. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that would have been a problem. So okay, we got our third blue mana, but we have no way of bouncing this quite yet. So having more bounce effects is something to consider. So we're gonna use this time to examine which spells are not pulling their weight. Opponent says good game. Shifting Ceratops. Yeah, that's good. That's good game. So as you can see, and this has protection from blue, so we can't exactly bounce it either. So yeah, we will concede here. So as you can see, mono green hurts us. They did not have cards like Shifting Ceratops, or we still don't have Veil of Summer. But there was no Shifting Ceratops. There was no Carnage Tyrant during that brawl season. So it's perfectly so it's fine. So yes, we definitely want 1/8. So I will make changes. I definitely want 1/8 or Gust. I'll probably cut the Censor because that's definitely the weakest. Syncopate is also okay but sketchy. But Syncopate's also okay but sketchy. I might cut that in favor of another bounce effect. So no counter spells, but we do get an early Kraken. I'll give this one a shot because we can at least cycle the Sandbar. Opponent's playing Selvala, Heart of the Wild, so this is probably another mono. Well, it's definitely a mono green deck. It's just what flavor it is. So I'm kind of doing this just to show that I don't have Arboreal Grazer. We'll cycle. Tail's End is kind of fine. Opponent might go for the Selvala, so I'm gonna actually hold this up. At least I have Hieroglyphic Illumination if it comes to that. So I can at least slow down our opponent casting Selvala if it comes to that. Garrus Harbinger. We can't slow that one down, so but I'll cycle instead. We got Search for Escanta. Yeah, not so great for us. We can get Nadir Kraken next turn. I'm gonna get the Nadir Kraken now, just so we can get some extra creatures out. Yeah, basically, if you don't get your counter spells early, it's really bad. So whenever its controller. So yeah, we're gonna take that hit. So opponent's gonna definitely find a big creature. We won't be able to Nullhide Ferox. Oh, we can counter it. So we will auto pay. Oh, that's gonna be a lot of annoying triggers, so I'm gonna pass. I'm actually gonna swing with the Kraken for now. So at least we had the one counter backup, so not too bad. Does this tap? Oh wait, no, this is not good. Our opponent can actually tap this for mana. Let's see if our opponent does not. Okay, went for the big one instead. So okay, so we dodged the bullet there. I'm okay with this one. And let's stop our opponent from drawing cards at this point. So we drew. Pay 1. Resolve. So this has hexproof, so we can't exactly bounce it. We can just keep growing this bigger, I guess. One is just getting all the ramp, which is fine, I guess. draw a card. I just figured I'd mess our opponent up a little bit. So I still want... If I can get one more mana... Nope, I did not get the one more mana, so... I guess... Because our opponent can tap this for 6 mana, that's a lot. Yeah, I'll auto-pay. So I need to get this to grow bigger so that I can go fight through the Nullhide Ferox. Not hitting mana is an issue. Opponent's about to hit Kogla, which is a problem. We can counter the triggered ability at least, so we got that one up. We got that one going. Countering Galta is a very big issue. Yeah, so sometimes you... Okay, so what? I'm gonna have to let that through. It's not like our opponent's gonna draw any cards anyway. It has to be... What's this? It has to be Greatest. Have Thorns. So opponent has... Oh, no, we're definitely countering this. Actually, no, we can't counter it. Our opponent can just tap mana for it, but... Yeah, that was a waste. I should have countered the... Well, no, I probably will counter the Death Trigger instead. I'll be surprised if our opponent... Yeah, so Syncopate is a weak link. Opponent's inclined to pay the mana. They do have the mana to pay for it. Oh no, they let it get countered. Okay, so does that mean they have something else? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Some sort of... 1, 2, 3. Some sort of fight effect. Okay, that makes sense. So we probably just take the 6. Yeah. Missing that 1 mana, I would have loved to hit Great Shark. Okay, we'll play the last point. So since we still can't counter, I will play Baral now. But yeah, as you can see, mono green does prey upon this deck, especially if it's a go big. Go wide, not so much. Yeah, so treasure map, not so much. I would have preferred another mana rock in this case. Tails End, it's reasonable, and it is a very cheap way to counter activate and triggered abilities, and it does come up relatively often. That's why I do have a Nimble Instructionist also. So yes, in Horn Beetle, we have to let that go. But we're not gonna win this one. The board's way too wide. We were opponent had way too much mana. Had a very good ramp start. Zavala's very, very good power ramp. So we probably should also be looking for spells that are more hard counters, even if they're more specific. So Essence. Okay, that's fine. But yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna concede right here. We fell way behind in terms of mana. We're not gonna catch up after losing the Nadir Kraken. Nadir Kraken was fine. Ominous, the Ominous Seas from the previous game was maybe less so, but if we start getting control, that would have been the case. Let's do a few changes here. So based on what we know, Sensor count cycles, but it's not so great. Anti-Cognition's fine. Disdainful Stroke is fine. Rebuff is fine. Tail's End is kinda mess, fine. So Syncopate is not so great. It's great early game, but we don't really need that many early game counters. I might just cut the Treasure Map is fine here. We don't get that much in the way of treasures. It's a way to get additional scry, and I probably prefer that. So yeah, prefer that over an Arcane Signet. I am consider. Yeah, so we'll put the treasure map in again. So we cut Censor, we cut Syncopate. There are a bunch of other big spells. Tricks is relatively fine, but it's also a question of, do we need this many big targets? I'm inclined to run it like this for now. But yeah, we kind of need some either counters or bounce. I'm gonna try adding some bounce here so that we can have extra options. Like Confounding Conundrum is a wait. Actually, there is one card I want to add that's colorless. I should have a copy of it. Damping Sphere. If a land is tapped for 2 or more mana, it produces. Wait, what's this? For each other spell that player has cast, so not much in the way of counter wars. I'm actually gonna add the Damping Sphere just as a random off because colorless decks can get out of hand. I'm tempted to add something big like an Ugin, but we're not exactly a ramp deck. Probably want to add some sort of. I probably want to add some sort of bounce effect. Ruin Crab. Guess it's weird, but it's not exactly our game plan. There's Confounding Conundrum. This one. There is quite a lot of ramp here, so Confounding Conundrum might have a place. But I kind of want to be careful of adding cards that don't add cards. Oh yeah, I should add Aether Gust because that's really my only out. So -1 Censor, -1 Syncopate, +1 Aether Gust, +1 Damping Sphere, just as a test. And we'll probably do one more game. And nope. Okay, so much for that one more game. You just got an auto concede. So I guess that's a very good. I guess it's a very good way to get through. Okay, so then yeah, sensor. Where's that sensor? Yeah, sensor is now Aether Gust. So it looks like yeah, this has to be addressed. But otherwise, I'm gonna leave it here. Well, it still has legs. It's not entire, but it's still beatable. You just have to know which hands to keep. So I can see some people wanting more counter-heavy hands. But we can see that okay, so this one is removal heavy, so we're always going to be in. So turn 1 Memorial, turn 2 we have the Spectral Sailor Brineborn Cutthroat. We can I kind of want more counters, but forcing our opponent to respond, it might be fine. Yeah, why not? Why not? We won a few games off for free. I think we can afford to lose a few games. So and some of these tap lands, well, they do give us extra card draw, but we have to be aware if they're still good or not. Definitely we'll play this one. I want to see if our opponent goes for the quick schedule. So next turn I can just go Brineborn Cut. See if our opponent casts anything. This one will just basically eat removal. I can tell. I'm actually fine with it. And so there's Erebos' Intervention. It's fine. Let's get that spell out of the way. So we have Naturalize on the ready. I kind of want one more mana, so but I can play Baral. Okay, so I definitely. definitely keeping this up now that I have the naturalize. And take the hit. So I'm actually gonna pass. Okay, hit the Arch of Araska. So at least I can get Hieroglyphic Illumination all on the cheap. Agra Mauling. Okay, draw a card. Yeah, we could use the land especially, so I'm gonna ditch the Spectral Sailor. Next turn I'd probably just draw 2 cards. Opponent's probably gonna get a kill off this one, but so far they have not been able to put much action. So opponent goes for the Murderous Rider. I could bounce a Shovel so our opponent doesn't benefit off it. But you know what? I'm just gonna draw cards. So let our opponent get a card, that's fine. Yeah, command zone. So hey, Baral actually can die. Well, technically. So opponent plays Skyclave Shade. So I want to so let's do Mace Mine Tool. Next turn we do have Agent of Treachery. It's a question of I might actually let our opponent drop their biggest threat. Replace Murderous Rider, that's fine, I guess. Yeah, let's just draw a card. Opponent's done 2. Okay, we got God Eternal Kefnet, so that's an option. Oh, I can probably... yuck, I don't... Actually, yes, I do want to... Yeah, let's just go my turn. There's a Mystical Dispute on top of that, so... God Eternal Kefnet. It will die to Shovel. So we're gonna see what our other spells our opponents have. I'm willing to take the 3 damage here because I don't want our opponent just recasting this one. And it gets the lifelink out of the way. No, Waker of the Dead. Yeah, we have to use this reserve. Scavenger, that's fine. We'll let that resolve because we're gonna borrow Damping Sphere. Okay, not in this matchup, so we can bin that. Voracious Great Shark. Reveal. No, decline. Everyone's favorite Agent of Treachery. And our opponent's down to 2 cards. Well, they can start drawing cards off the Castle Lockwain, but we'll take the hit. I think we can. Yeah, we can afford to take some hits. Opponent goes for Archfiend's Vessel. Okay. Goes for a Massacre Worm that doesn't kill anything, so that's... Yeah, and we would have had to hold a Voracious Great Shark, but yeah, that doesn't kill anything, so... Yeah, so we kind of smarted out on that one. Whew! Okay, that was... Yeah, that was actually still close. And we didn't get the full benefit from... Well, we don't have to get the full benefit of Baral all the time. Let's see if we can get one more. Yeah, I'm kind of padding the time a little bit now. I'm just realizing, like, we've only hit the 45-minute mark. A lot of our wins are non-games. Well, we're... Okay, this one's going to be relatively fast. We might be in trouble if we don't have early counters, or if our lands are all like this. Yeah, we have 0 counters. We're taking the free mulligan. This one's better. We can get a rebuff off turn 2. And Obstructionist or Wizard's Retort off turn 3. So we're gonna do that one. We're probably not gonna counter Reese. We might be able to counter the activated ability though. So, but we definitely want Revolutionary for turn 1. Just for the Reese to redeem. Actually, I need to decide if I want Baral now. Yeah, I want Baral now. Actually, I could wait one more turn. This was probably a bit too greedy. But it does force our opponent to have some sort of removal. Opponent is playing cheap deck. And we have the option of cycling the Lonely Sandbar if our opponent doesn't really do much. Opponent should kind of have a guess of what our deck does. Okay, let's cycle the Sandbar. Still leaves a... Okay, Gun Island, that's good. Got Sheep Peasant Scatter. I have to let our opponent... Omen? I don't want the treasure map right now, actually. If I can hit Seagate Restoration, that would be so big, but it's not likely. Yeah, it looks like our opponent's having mana issues. I'm gonna try to keep our opponent off mana. Let's go for the Revolutionary. Hits Tricks, Sudden Storm. We'll discard the Nimble Obstructionist. Yeah. So we have a big drop, and we can actually cast Seagate next turn for cheap. Skyclave Aberration, we're going to... Yeah, Essence Cast that. Veil of Summer. Going to respond by countering the Skyclave Aberration. Yeah, we'll draw a card. 6 mana, we kinda need it. Actually, no, we don't. We'll pass. Because this one draws us cards. Like, this is a very poor card draw spell right now if I do cast it. So I'm actually going to just cast Tricks right now. Opponent might still have a cast out. I have no outs for that at this point. Nope, no cast out. And we drew the Sinister Sabotage. So we can kind of sit back on this. It does mean I have to... It does mean Seagate Restoration might not get cast at all. And we're kind of having to rush at this point. But if our opponent's going to rush between ground and air, I think we might win. Opponent needs to drop a big creature spell. X is the number of creatures you control. Okay, actually you know, the math is weird here. This is supposed to be a 3/3. Okay, got Nadir Kraken. I guess I'm gonna play that one now. We have a Sinister Sabotage backup, and we can start we can start flooding the board with our own tokens. So Seagate Restoration probably not gonna get cast, but that's fine. Once upon a time, sure. We'll counter that other threat instead. We can't just counter all the small stuff. We actually got through the Veil of Summer by having extra counters, so that we're fine on that one. Hold on. Yeah, this is weird. This should be bigger. I think there's a bug with this one right now, so let's call attention to that. Elder Gargoyle here, so no, we want that on top. Yes, we will. Actually, no, we won't draw a card because we're gonna draw it next turn. Auto pay. Not quite out of the woods yet, but we can counter one big thing. Legion's Landing, sure, that's fine. Basically, now that our opponent's been reduced to a lot of these threats that were great early game, we only have to wait for our opponent to cast the threats that matter, like Elder Gargaroth. I could get 2 cards off this, but I'm gonna just pass. Auto pay. Yeah, we don't have a good last pull mimic target now, and we could use 7 mana, so I'm gonna just play it's a land. Sure, that's fine. Yeah, this is... so it counts the number of creatures at the time, so this doesn't keep changing. So this will forever be a 2/2. That's actually a good thing. So our opponent's looking for one big attack. Yeah, they're not gonna get it. So yeah, we're just gonna tails, and we can counter and yeah, auto pay. Oh, we can tilt our opponent with this. Yeah, just keep going up in the air for now. No, I'm gonna let that happen because that's just a servo. This is the one I want to counter. And even then, our opponent needs to hit the flyer, so it's kind of moot. And since we counter an activate ability, it doesn't trigger this one, but I don't care. It's fine. So opponent's now gonna swing with... Yeah, I'll update later. So we're gonna see if our opponent has a buff effect. I think our opponent's just trying to gain life to buy time. So yeah, we're gonna pass. Opponent probably should be trying to flip this one. Getting more tokens out of this is better. I would have swung with a bunch of these L's because it's not like I was gonna Daxos Blessed by the Sun. I have to let that through. Which is bad for us because yeah, our opponent's gonna get that one out. Yeah, so how many triggers is that? That's 12 life. Okay, so something to reconsider. Resolve all. Yeah, our opponent's gonna regain more life every time unless I can answer this. So maybe waiting for this one then countering it afterwards is probably better. Yeah, I guess I'll Mystical Dispute that. Draw a card. Anti-cognition, counter target creature, planeswalker. We'll discard that one. Pay 1. Yeah, opponent's now gonna try to flip that. I'm okay with binning some of these because we do need to start getting we need to start cleaning up the board. But our opponent's gonna just survive quite a while with Daxos until we can get rid of it. So yeah, even then not actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 4, 6. Oh, I could have countered it. Oh wait, maybe not. I'm not too sure. No, because I did tap with Endear Kraken, I couldn't have countered it. Play Field of the Dead. Why not? Might as well have it rather than not have it. But yeah, we're probably gonna lose to all the extra tokens at this point. So yeah, we let the game go for too long. So we're only fortunate that yeah, opponent's gonna start making tokens this way. We're probably gonna lose to mill if ever. Wow, how many tokens does that make? A lot. So that's 22 life. We'll resolve all. We can just press resolve all. I have no intention of cutting in the middle. Maybe? I'm now inclined to play Seagate Restoration normally. Yeah, I kind of wish I played the Glasspool Mimit now. I would have been able to make more tokens. Opponent now attacks with everything. Yeah, I guess we can say good game at this point. Nope, not quite. Yeah. So as you can see, it's still not over yet. I will give props to our opponent for going through all the way. Okay. So yeah, none of these are great. This doesn't work. I guess Ratchet Bomb is a good pick for this one now. But yeah, I have to take these two. Did I not tap enough? Let's cast a Saloon Division. Let's see if we can find anything. There's a Mass Manipulation, but that gets me like what, 2 creatures? So I can steal these, but yeah, but that's good game. I needed that a lot earlier. So that Damping Sphere I'm going to replace with Ratchet Bomb. It gives us an extra board wipe again, kind of like Blast Zone. Oh, I forgot to actually refresh this one. Oh well, I'm gonna have to refresh it one more time, because we're gonna make that one more change. But that's pretty much it for this deck. So yeah, I'll show you the changes here. So yeah, we should take advantage of Ratchet Bomb. We don't exactly have anti-token removal, and if that last game demonstrated anything, is that yeah, we still have to respect it. So Ratchet Bomb starts with an R there. So we're gonna cut the Damping Sphere, add the Ratchet Bomb, because this is generally more useful altogether. But that's pretty much it for changes. And there we go. That's the Brawl deck. The Baral Brawl deck. Will you get the chance to play it? It's worth a shot. In fact, I would like to encourage more people to play it so that Wizards can finally decide if it's really broken. So we can actually finally decide if it's really broken or if we have a way around it. Anyway, that's it for this episode of the Magic Arena Run. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, turn on notifications and whatnot. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you guys again next time. Have a great week, everyone. Take care. God bless. Stay safe wherever you are. Have a great day.